Welcome in, everybody, to RSF1, another week, Division 1, Round 13 at France. You are joined with me by Matteo. Matteo, welcome in. How are we doing? I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this race. Should be very interesting. France not a track that everybody likes in the F1 game, but you gotta get on with it.
You do indeed. You do indeed. I quite enjoy France when I can get a lap together. Talking of, let's have a quick look at our track guide for this week.
It's that time once again, the final moments before lights out and the charge down to turn one. Who will come out on top at Paul Ricard today? Well, we'll find out soon as we get the French Grand Prix underway. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners. 6 go to the left and 9 go to the right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the chicane. And watch out for drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive.
There we go. All right, then. We're here for a short quali with only 14 drivers here. We will take it big screen. And as we say there, we have our first driver coming out the pits. That looks to be a Mercedes. Is that Invade? No, it is not. It's Cengiz Logan, who's going to be our first car out on track for this week to get us going around France. On circuit Paul Ricard.
Yep, track limit's very easy to invalidate around here, so you want to get your lap in early and want to make sure you get a decent banker to start off the session.
Yep, definitely. I've seen Evo working on a set of hards there in the pits. Interesting choice.
Very, very interesting choice. I've seen mediums in qualifying before. I haven't seen hards in a while. Before.
I have not. While we're here,
we've got Justin the Aston Martin as well coming out for his outlap as well. So a few people going early. We'll have to see what the different qualifying strategies are. Whether people wait a little bit.
A Just Tangent is Muddy Biscuits, just for clarification. I don't know why it comes up as a Just Tangent for us, but it does. But yeah, that is Muddy Biscuit.
Okay. Okay, I'll try and make a mental note. I'll probably still get it wrong.
Like, I forget all the time. It's absolutely fine.
You forget your own,
I forget his name all the time.
You forget your own pointers.
Yep, exactly that.
That's great. We all do it from time to time. We have a flurry. We have another flurry of people coming out as well. We've got Easton and his teammate Evo coming out for laps as well as RSF1 Invade as well in the other Mercedes.
Yeah, we've got a few coming out, trying to find their space on the track. As we're on board with Cengiz now, coming around the last few turns. Can be quite a tricky track, especially this left-hander here. I find very, very difficult on braking.
Understeer central as well.
Yes.
If you don't hit the apex.
We'll ride on board with Cengiz, who's going to be our first car to take us around circuit. Paul Ricard. Let's see what the Mercedes can do then. As he fires his way down the start-finish straight, DRS open, makes his way down towards turn one.
Yep.
Shifted down to fourth gear, cut the corner nicely. Exit in lovely. Want to watch the rear end on exit. Seems to have it planted there. Lovely. Gets his foot down now, makes his way towards turn three. A quick little dink right, and then immediately on the brakes left. Hook it around turn four. And you've got an immediate then turn right of turn five. And a tricky turn six here. This is all about how brave and how early you can get your foot down on the throttle. Makes his way round turn seven. The first DRS stretch. Minus the start finish straight, obviously. A long straight down here. This is where we'll see drivers with the lower wing set up benefiting through turn 8 and then immediately around turn 9. Watching a throttle on exit, making his way down the long turn right of turn 10. So far so good, looking strong.
Yeah, missed the apex a little bit at turn 1, but obviously this is only a banker lap at the moment. Turn 10 and then into turn 11, Labose corner. You want to carry the speed in and you want to carry it out on the exit. Want to make sure you don't
Cuts that corner
lose too much
beautifully.
time. Yep, a beautiful corner. Get the car into the apex and avoid the understeer. Got a car on the inside, getting out of the way. And then here, the corner goes on forever. Eventually, you get the apex, and then for the final corner, you want to get into the apex and then get on the power as early as possible. Keep the wheel spin down, and then drive for the line, which is quite a way away. So you've got a lot of tension build. And Jengus with 130.602 to start us off.
And Muddy Biscuit coming over behind him. Goes P2. Only a 10th off of the 130.7. Not a bad lap there for the Aston Martin. We've got RS10 Invade. He's coming over the line now. Is he starting the lap? No, he's gone. Provisional pole for 129.4. Setting the benchmark at the moment for the rest of the drivers.
Yep. Evo is making his way to the final few corners, and he's on the hard tyres, very interestingly. For his first qualifying attempt. So we'll have to see what he can do as he now comes towards the line, crosses it now. 129.7 on the hard tyres compared to Invade on the softs. That's a competitive time on the hards, isn't it?
That's not bad at all. We've got his teammate Easton coming over the line now. What can the other AlphaTauri do? Goes second with a 129.5 flat. Very respectable time there for the other AlphaTauri. We've also got, is that Ferrari just about to start a lap, or is that Matty? Oh, Matty, he's invalidated.
Oh, poor, oh dear.
So here we'll be starting another lap. We'll bring the telemetry up as well so you guys can see the ERS usage. We have a Haas coming around the last corner.
Yep, Darnell in the Haas, and he is not invalidated, so he is perfectly fine on this lap, and he crosses the line. P3, 129.720 ahead of Evo in the other AlphaTauri. People still on that who have
Dan Burnett will be our next car over.
Yeah, interesting I find is that Runnard hasn't come out for his laps yet, so he's staying in the pit at the moment.
Runnard tends to leave it very, very, very much to the end, I've noticed, in a lot of qualifying. As Dan Burnett goes over and sets the new benchmark for 129.1. A beautiful time there for the Alpine.
That is a very, very good pace around Paul Ricard. That is decent pace.
Justy Blaze, what can he do? Only P2 with a 129.1 as well. Just off of provisional pole. Dan Burnett cooking around here.
300 is that gap. Very close. We've got
is that Hudson just starting a lap in the McLaren?
Hudson just starting a lap. Matty has gone for it again in the Ferraris. So he is coming around the final few corners now. Hasn't invalidated this time. We'll have to see what comes
a little bit of a slide on the last corner.
That will have cost him a good 3-4 tenths as well, and he's out of ERS, so that is not a great lap, and he will almost certainly have to go again to improve his position.
Yeah, he most definitely will.
131
comes in the pits.
1.
That must be Grunty coming around. He's just about to start a lap. I'll tell you what, Matteo, take us through a lap on board with Grunty in the McLaren. I'm expecting good things from here today.
Of course, opening the DRS down to turn 1, you want to make sure you open up the corner as wide as possible to carry the speed, because there's a lot of medium speed corners. Get on the inside of that curb, cut the other curb on for turn 2, and then power out, not avoiding the track limits. Turn 3, you've got to cut the curb on the inside as much as possible without invalidating, and then bring it back to the left to open up the next few corners, and then carry the speed through the long right-hander, and then through turn 7 onto the back straight, and opening DRS. As JD said earlier, low downforce will benefit here, and will benefit for the start of Sector 3 as well. You want to get all over these two curbs into the end of Sector 2 through the chicane. Very nicely done there from Grunty in the McLaren. Flat out now, all the way through to Labose, turn 11. And then into turn 11, you want to make sure you carry the speed in, run the car out to the outside so you can chop it back to the inside and get on the power as quickly as possible. You want to get into the apex as early as possible, and then you want to power out and then get to the final 2 corners of the Paul Ricard circuit. Second to last one goes on forever. Get into the apex, not understeering, as the tyre temps will be screaming a little bit by this point on the soft tyres. but open DRS for the final time, and across the line, a 129.725 puts him P7 just ahead of his teammate Hudson. That was a decent lap actually from Grunty. Not too many mistakes, and not too on the limit. A good banker.
A very good banker. I saw him get a purple sector 1 there as well. Very respectable time for the McLaren, most definitely.
Indeed. The last, we've got 2 people who haven't set laps yet. Ipswich Techers in the Williams, and then
Still
we've
in
also
the
got
pits.
Runnard now, who's in the pits at the moment, but we have Runnard now on a lap at the moment, and he's just making his way down towards turn 8 in the chicane. Let's see what
Run
he
on board
can
with
do.
Crazy Fish as well, who appears to be setting or trying to improve his lap currently. Make his way through sector 3 now, round turn 12. Very tricky left-hander. Can the Ferrari improve from a 129.6 and get himself up higher than P5? I don't think he is. He's flushing. I think he's recharging and he's going into the pits. Of course he is. We will go back on board with Runner then, who is yet to set a time. Sat P14 in the standings, in the timing sheet at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit on that curb there, which can unsettle the car a little bit, but nonetheless,
Really hogs the curb through turn 13 there, using every inch of track that he's been given.
Indeed, very much so. You could almost consider him an esports driver with the lines he uses sometimes, but it does bring you pace. And Runnard only a 29.184, so behind his teammate and behind Dan Burnett in
Dan Burnett.
the Alpine. Yeah, Dan Burnett, that is serious pace.
That's very good from the Alpine. I'm seriously impressed with that. Hasn't always got pole through previous races, but that's an outstanding time from the Alpine. Can he improve that?
Yep, it'll be very interesting to see. We've got Grunty. Let's see, Grunty, I believe, is coming out as is about to start his next lap. I believe he's on the same set of tyres as he did his previous lap with. We've also got Darnell, I believe, on a lap, as well as Evo, who is now on the soft tyres and will be jumping up the timing tables quite considerably from the hard tyres.
Yes, no, he definitely will be. Maybe just wanted to get a feel, make sure his equipment was all working before getting out there properly and fully sending it. Riding on board Evo now, sets a purple sector 2. He is flying.
He is indeed flying turn 11. Don't want to run too wide, and he doesn't run too wide. He does. In fact, he takes that pretty perfectly, and then through the doesn't.
Tyres on the white line. He's using every inch of track that he can. This is going to be an outstanding lap from Evo.
It is indeed. Darnell's gone to the top with a 129.100. So the Haas is now in P1. We'll see if Evo has anything to say about that as he crosses the line, and he does have something to say about that. The first driver into the 128 here in this qualifying session at Paul Ricard.
Wow, that's a great time there from Evo. Really did not leave any time left on the track. He could still improve. There is still time to go again. We're riding on board with Hudson now, who's just about to start a lap. I wasn't paying attention. This is the next one over the line. That's going to be drastic.
Yeah, Invade has invalidated his lap, so he's not going to be improving on his time for
Drastic
the moment.
Blaze sets a 128.8. Goes just under a tenth and a half quicker than SLR Evo. Ooh, the times are ramping up now. Will he have time to get round and potentially get back out and have another lap though?
Possibly. The pit lane here is very long.
Easton there creeping up. Sorry to interrupt you. Easton creeping up with a P3 there, getting a 129 flat. A very, very respectable time there for the AlphaTauri.
Oh, no need to apologise about interrupting me when there's something happening on track.
Darnell into the pits.
I think at this point everybody will be, even if they're on laps, will be coming into the pit lane.
Yeah.
Because the pit lane is very long here, so you don't want to lose too. You want to make sure you get out early enough to prepare your tyres in the way that you want to.
Yeah.
Mate, and then get ready for the final run in qualifying.
I've had a small W today. So I cleaned my keyboard, as you know. My left shift key was always a bit like, it was temperamental, sometimes it wouldn't work. And also you need the left shift key to use the numbers to go obviously outside the top 10. It now works without fault, and it's the simple things in life, but it makes me very happy. I'm having to smash my shift key to try and shift up past position 10 and higher.
I had that with school keyboards so many times with the space bar. It was unbelievable. The amount of times I basically had to take a sledgehammer to the space bar just to get it to actually work. I want to put a space in this Word document.
Oh, yes. Right, this qualifying, only 3 and a bit minutes left. It's absolutely flown by. The 18 minutes has not lasted at all. We've got Muddy Biscuits currently on a lap. I would suspect this is his last attempt to try and get himself out of P12. Horizon 4C, welcome in. Runner also in the chat saying close quality so far. It is a very close qualifying.
Yeah. And Crazy Fish is gonna have to recharge the battery, cool the tires down because he's invalidated his lap early on. So he's gonna have to. Luckily, he has got time to easily just chill off a little bit, make the tires a bit less hot, and then also recharge the battery, get ready for one final attempt with 2.5 minutes remaining. So all the people in the pits, they would be starting to think about coming out now for their last runs in the next 30 seconds.
Yep, as we already start to see a few cars trailing out the pit exit now. Oh, Muddy Biscuit, he's just invalidated on the last turn there. Through turn 13, he just went a little bit wide, took too much curb. Is he going to come in or is he going to try and go again with only 30? He's only got 40% battery. He's going to have to try again. It's all he can do. We'll definitely have to stay on board with that one.
I think he'll have to. I think what he'll have to do is because there's enough time remaining in the session. It's almost like he's come out for an out lap.
Yeah, if he has the fuel.
If he has the fuel and he has the battery, which I think people like Muddy Biscuit going out earlier will have accounted for the fact they might invalidate.
Because he is charging now. He's not using any battery now. He is charging up.
Yep. So everybody, I believe, apart from Ipswich Techers, who is still in the pits at the moment.
He might have a quali ban. Don't quote me on that. I would have to have a look in the old Discord, unless someone in chat knows. But he may... Ah, yes. Ipswich Techers has a qualifying ban. That is why we are not seeing him out.
Well, that explains that. Oh no! Ooh, dear, I've just seen Big Development Invade has invalidated his laps. And I think that will be him done for qualifying. Because I don't think there's enough time for him to get round to go again. So, unfortunate there for Invade. He's going to drop down a whole load of places. Without that final run, just went too greedy on the curb of turn 2.
Oh,
so
dear.
that is unfortunate for Invade.
But Crazy Fish is actually on a lap, just managing to navigate his way through traffic. He's got a massive heap of cars coming up ahead of him through Sector 3. Are they all going to move out of his way? Whilst they're all trying to start their laps as well, are they going to realise?
Yeah, I think they are. Unlike in real F1, these drivers have a bit more awareness of when there's cars coming towards them, so do get out of the way. So, and he will be the first of our runners to go for the pole position. Let's see where Crazy Fish goes. Crosses the line, only P9, unfortunately, and probably just ran out of tyres a little bit. And remember, he was the one who invalidated earlier on and probably just had a little bit less tyre life, because the tyre life, especially on the soft tyres, is very, very draining around France, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And as you saw on the track guide, you do not want to touch them blue and red strips as well, because they will destroy your tyres in a matter of seconds. Yep.
Genghis will be the first person to cross the line, and he is making his way towards the final few corners now. He's going to be the first one to attack the pole position. He hasn't invalidated his lap, crucially, so that is very, very good for him. And now he opens DRS for the final time. Let's see where Genghis goes. He finishes P10 only. Meanwhile, Dan Burnett, who was the star of earlier in this qualifying, only goes P2. Matty finishes up in P13. And let's see who else we've got coming across the line. Ooh, Runners only P6. That's a big shock. I've expected him to be a bit higher than that.
Justin Blaze invalidated his lap. He won't improve.
We'll have to see if anybody else can.
Excellent, Evo!
A 128.636.
That is an
Wow.
outstanding lap.
Indeed it is. We've got Grunty jumping his way up to P6 ahead of Runnard there.
The second AlphaTauri gets himself up into P2 as well. That is huge news for the constructors' points going into the main race. That is massive.
Missed out on pole position by a mere about 600th of a second. 600ths of a second between Eastern and pole. But that is a 1-2 for AlphaTauri, and that is some serious pace from those two.
Wow.
We could have a very interesting battle between the teammates in the race, couldn't we, JD?
We could, and that is your order as it stands. We have SLR Evo, Eastern, Justic Blaze are your top three. Dan Burnett, SLR Darnell, P4 and 5. Grunty and Running, P6 and 7. Invade takes P8. Crazy Fish takes P9. Jengus Logan takes P10. And then we have the rest that's there. And a quick look whilst we are here, guys, at the standings. Look how close it is for the championship there. The constructors even 240 points for AlphaTauri, only sat behind 270 points for Alfa Romeo. AlphaTauris have got a lot to fight for here in this race. We will jump on to a quick highlights video from last week out at Mexico, and we shall be back in a few minutes, guys.
Oh. All right, here we go for the sprint race. There's 3, 4, 5 red lights. And lights out and away we go. It's a good start from Burnett. It's a very good start from Runner Red. He's going to take the lead off his teammate as they go down into turn 1. It's a very long run down to turn 1. 400 meters, remember. As there's the Alpine of Dan Burnett is going to possibly take the lead nearly. Lost it on the apex, and that's he had to back out on the apex. And there comes Hudson, and he tapped Hudson in his round. Yeah, good, decent start from a few of the drivers there. A lot of gains, not a lot of losses. Apart from Burnett, who's gone down all the way to the rear. Damage as here comes Evo. The inside for third place, right aboard of Hudson to have a look at it. And safely now to third place. This is where
Blaze has just got past Red Runner.
it's a late defense from Seckers. MK6 is right alongside. Getting oh so close, and Hudson had to back out of it, and that's allowed Invade to go alongside. And you've got Grunty trying to stick his nose in.
Oh, with DRS.
3 wide.
Grunty tries to go round the outside.
Oh!
Oh,
Good move from
Grunty gets
Grunty.
Invade though.
As Runner Red exits the final corner, he will take the sprint race victory over his teammate. It's a 1-2 for Alfa Romeo. Evo's going to come home in third place. Here we go for 5 red lights, 36 laps ahead, and away we go. And it's a better start actually for Runner Red. He's really good on those starts. Ahead of Evo. Evo on the medium tyres, not gets a better start than Romeo's. Here comes Easton right behind. Got MK6 as well. They head down into turn 1. And it's front free as you are, but it's 2 Romeos, 2 AlphaTauris. Now as Easton's moved into 4th place, as you all go through clean-ish. It has just... Oh, both Ferraris are down in the there? They're both in the wall. Maddie's gone straight on, and Crazy Fish is having got a bit of a spin. Yellow team as Evo is split the Romeos. Got by Runner Reds.
Evo seems to be better in race pace than in sprint and quali. Evo gets Blaze.
It's a lovely split, isn't it, between the Romeos and the Tauris, and they've got a lovely Alpine just watching it of MK.
To start the race. I'm a bit different to everyone else. When clearly medium tyres are the better option, I tend to either go like hard or soft.
Oh. Goes Burnett on the inside of Easton to move into 6th place. He's then going to catch them again.
Yeah. So technically he is P1 as it stands.
Yeah. Hard to say though. That's going to work out as Easton is taking advantage of Burnett not allowing Evo to go through, but not really fighting it. Managed to catch him unawares. enough. So Evo is now in. This has to be for a set of softs. And it is. So now it's up to him how high he gets.
If you look at the track...
Yeah, Evo's going to get grunty. And then, I mean, we would have had grunty anyway on penalties. So what are you looking at the stadium section? And he goes. A bit wide on the exit.
Evo has none.
Oh, Evo was so much better in turn 1 and 2 and 3. He's gone all for that section. Tekkas nearly loses it. This is a crucial move. Championship potential in here, and Tekkas manages to hold him off. Picks up the sprint and the main race. Blaze is going to come home second. Can Tekkas hang on? No, Evo's lost it on the last corner.
No, Evo.
No, he's driving backwards. He's lost it to Grunty. He's still driving backwards. This is terrible. Evo drops to 6th. Oh, Evo. It's that thing, isn't it? Because if he'd settled for 4th behind Tekkas, he'd be in the lead by 3 points.
And there we have it. Excuse me. And we're back now for the race at France. I'm looking forward to this, Matteo.
I'm indeed looking forward to this. Very interesting to see what tyres everyone goes with at the start, whether they're going to go mediums or hards, or even if some of them are going to maybe risk it and go for softs at the start and maybe hope for an early safety car. It'll be very interesting to see the tyre strategies, because tyre wear is a bit brutal around France.
It is. And it's worth noting as well, if you want to catch the full race or any of the races for any of the divisions, all the videos are uploaded to the RSF1 YouTube. You can catch that at RSF1 Racing. Now you can see the link obviously down the bottom left of your screens. As we're just waiting for the drivers to ready up.
Indeed,
and there we go.
We have all the drivers. And it's a formation lap. Do we have a formation lap?
We do have formation lap.
It means we've got a little bit of time to discuss tyres and see what everyone's on.
Talking of tyres, there's always one that goes a bit different. We have Runnard there on the softs. Everyone on the hard tyres, apart from Runnard on the softs, and Muddy Biscuits there in P12 on the medium tyres. That's a very interesting call there.
Yeah, although I have to say, Runnard, I mean, he invalidated his lap, so from quali. So I think he just wants to give it a good go, and at the start, because if he's got soft tyres to use, he ain't gonna use them much. He ain't gonna use them much else during this race. He might as well use them at the start and see if he can gain himself track position, which is quite crucial, especially through that through that third sector, which is quite bad with the dirty air, and you can fall behind a little bit, can't you, JD?
You can indeed. One thing I've noticed with the standings there, I don't think they are fully up to date. I do believe Runnard, for example, is a full-time driver in the Alfa Romeo. Worth noting, I think Azam done as reserve there in the standings. But nonetheless, the points are all up to date as far as I'm aware, including all sprint races, etc., etc., etc. Right.
We are getting ready to getting ready to go here, and Muddy Biscuit as well going for the mediums as well. That's a bit more of a sensible, softer option as well. I'm not saying Runnard isn't sensible, but Muddy Biscuit going for what the F1 community would, especially what the F1 23 community would perceive to be the better option to go with at Paul Ricard if you don't want to start on the hard tyres. Mediums will take you a long way into the race.
I mean, I'm very shocked by the hards, I can't lie. Mediums are always my safe bet, my starting tyre. So I'm definitely gonna learn from this, as I've got Division 2 race tomorrow. So we're gonna see. We're just gonna observe everything.
JD has literally got a notepad and he is writing it down. I can confirm that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm watching everyone's fuel and everyone's ERS.
I'm watching what the strategies are.
I understand it looks like it might rain. It is very overcast.
It
Could we have late rain in the races? And then they're looking to take the hards long potentially for the rain. Is that an option we could have?
Possibly, although what that does open up to is the option of Runnard and Muddy Biscuit having better pace at the end with the newer tyres, but if the rain doesn't come. So It'll be very interesting to see how this race pans out, but we have, I believe, everyone ready now, and we are ready for the race.
5 lights then. And away they go. Easton having a great start of his teammate. Evo pulls himself up into P1 straight away. Further back, we've got cars going 3 wide, almost 4 wide, making their way around turn 1 and turn 2. All managing to keep it clean, no contact as of yet. We'll take ourselves further back the field. Runnard making his way already up to P3, getting himself plenty of overtakes as we get going. What a start!
Yep, everyone kept their noses clean. Everyone was well behaved at turn 1 of Runnard. You can immediately see how much more grip he's got on the soft tyres compared to the others. He was basically pushing his teammate Drastic Blaze through those corners as we see him move for the lead into turn 8. Drastic Blaze gets the lead. Runnard jumps it down the inside. What an opportunity! That was an opportunistic move from Runnard. You can tell he wants to get a move on, JD.
He is absolutely sending it. We've got cars further back going 2 wide. We're looking behind Invade here. That's Hudson and Crazy Fish. They sort themselves out there going round turn 10. Wow, there's a lot going on as always through to the first few laps here.
There is indeed. Muddy Biscuit gained one place off the start, and Ipswich Techers, who with the qualifying ban, has made his way up to P11, P12, sorry, in the Williams. But I think the battle we're going to be having to look out for is the 2 Alfa Romeos. We thought at the start of this race this was going to be a battle between the 2 Alfa Tauris. Oh no, they've swapped around. It's the 2 Alfa Romeos now going for it.
That's it. We've got hard tyre versus soft tyre. Oh, surely Runnard has to make a move soon. He needs to get the move done early. Use those tyres. He's making a move now down into turn 3.
Oh, good. Very, very good move. Very nice send. And also,
but Justin Blade, is he going to give it up? Are there team orders here? Is he fighting back? Is he going to try and get that move back as quick as he possibly can?
No, I think the play here for Drastic Blaze is just to try and stay with Runnard at the moment, because Runnard has the better tyres for the moment. That will change after a few laps on the soft tyres. After about, I reckon, maybe 5 to 6, 7 laps ish, those soft tyres will go off quite quickly. So maybe Drastic Blaze should just stay behind with the superior grip of the softs, and then make the move when his tyres are better than the softs.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Justin Blade's all over the back of Runnard. They're really not giving each other any space whatsoever, are they?
Nope, they aren't. And Evo, our pole sitter, is back ahead of Easton again from the start, and they are just getting their time a little bit. It's very interesting to see what everyone's ERS is at the moment. We've got Drastic Blaze on about 48%. We've got Runnard on a 40% as well. So both Alfa Romeos using their batteries early. Meanwhile, behind them, Evo's on about 50%, and Easton on 70% battery. So he's saving it for a little bit later in this first part of this race. DRS has now been enabled as we are now on to lap 3 of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, riding on board with Invade at the minute. Who's, quite surprisingly, has been bad with his battery usually. Currently sat on 8%. I'm impressed. Invade, if you're listening to this, keep it up. Keep that charge going.
Yep, the ERS is crucial around here because it does give you the boost you need, especially onto the straights where you're coming off of slow speed corners. Getting that extra boost and getting that extra boost, in my experience, you can gain a solid 2-3 tenths on that, or just by using a little bit of battery, 5% maybe on the exit of a corner.
Yeah, definitely. Runnard, Justin Blades all over the back of him. Runnard not pulling away on them softs like he'd be wanting to.
Yeah, but crucially for him, he's got track position, so he's the one who dictates the pace.
Oh.
And almost went. I thought Drastic Blaze for a moment was going to maybe go for a send down the inside, but in the end, that's probably cost him a little bit of time. And actually now, Evo is starting to use his battery a bit, and the same with Easton as well. They're both closing up quite quickly to the back of the 2 Alfa Romeos. This is going to be an Alfa Romeo versus Alfa Tauri battle, I think, for the lead.
It is. I'm looking forward to this already. This is exciting when we're only just about to start lap 4 of 27. There's a lot happening already. We've got further battling, further back. Is that Crazy Fish trying to make a move on Hudson? No, he doesn't for the time being. Sits behind.
Yep, we've got a clear couple packs performing. We've got Muddy Biscuit in P9, leading the pack from downwards, and then at the top, they're all within the DRS train of each other, and that's, I think, what they're wanting to do. I think at this stage of the race, it's now, if there is rain coming, it's about saving the tyres, saving ERS. Now, we've got a spinner, Hudson, out of turn 6, I think that is. And going towards turn 7, just had a little bit of a spin there, and a very embarrassing moment there. And that is not going to help him. And Invade gets a 3-second penalty.
Invade.
Early 3-second time penalty. Track limits, as I said earlier, are brutal around here.
They really are.
You want to make sure you stay within those white lines, ladies and gentlemen.
Back up on and running, looking behind. Oh, so close how they all are. The top 5 there. All winged to gearbox. P5 just dropping off a little bit. We've got SLR Darnell in the Haas. He's managing to stay with them though, more importantly. He's staying in that DRS. Just look at that snake of cars going around the last turn. Running up with a little bit of a squiggle.
That is F1 being oddly satisfying, I have to say, JD.
It really is, it really is. Justin Blaze going for the move now into turn 1. Gets it done before the turn. Now finds himself leading the French Grand Prix.
Yeah, although something to watch out for is Evo and Easton behind them. Evo especially has got about 20% more battery than Runnard, and he's, I think, going to be wanting to get past Runnard as soon as possible. He might even try and do it down towards turn 8 and down the back straight. And Easton is also very close behind his teammate. I wonder if he's going to be thinking about a move as well.
At the minute, it's currently defending from his teammate. It's nice. It is nice to see the 2 AlphaTauris with the 2 Alfa Romeos fighting it out here, both so close in the championship.
Battle of the Alphas. Battle
it really
of the
is.
Alphas. And I think the person I'd have the best bets on at the moment is Easton. He's on 80% battery compared to his teammate on 50%. Runnard's only on 30%.
Oh, he's gone a little bit wide there. That almost allowed Darnell to take him there, but he managed to close the door. Darnell's sitting pretty actually, on about 40% battery, but he's sitting back. He's watching the 4 cars ahead of him battle. I've been in this position many times. You just have to sit and wait. You just wait for someone to make a mistake. That's all you can do here. You're in a DRS train. It's hard to charge your battery.
Yep, Dampener also in P6 as well, and he's within the DRS range. And Grunty is just starting to fall off a little bit. He was inside the DRS train, but he's now starting to fall back a little bit from that leading pack. He's about 7/10 off, so he's still in the DRS, but we'll have to see how much longer that is around for. Runnard, his soft tyres may be starting to go off a little bit now, but he's not giving up the fight for the lead. He's staying within half a second of Drastic and just letting him know he's there. And we have another 3-second time penalty, this time for Ipswich Techers in the Williams.
Yeah, we'll just have a little look whilst we're here at our biggest gainers and losers. So far, our biggest gainers, Runnard, starting on them soft tyres, up 5 positions off.
Speaking of Runnard, Evo has not only got past one Alfa Romeo, he's got past both of them. He's got a bit deep into turn 8, but he has got
absolute
both
charge.
Alfa Romeos. Beautiful. That is what more battery gives you here at France. Just powered past both Alfa Romeos, like he was in a different formula.
Ipswich Techers also in the background, getting past Muddy Biscuits, finding himself up into P10 now, making the move into turn 8. Now all over the back of Crazy Fish. Can he make the move out into turn 9? Up to P9, sorry. He can. Muddy Biscuits on a look as well. Almost 3 wide going around turn 11. That's really gross stuff there. Ipswich Techers, not a lot of battery left. Remember, starting at the back, didn't qualify, so doing well, getting himself up to P10, but needs to really think about his battery here.
Yep, as well. Yep, no changes at the moment in the lead battle. We've got Easton. Easton's still just sticking behind with that battery. He's up to 90% now. He's got to start. If I was him, I'd start using a bit of that. You've got so much battery spare. You might as well make the move on Runnard and Drastic Blaze and make it a 1-2 for AlphaTauri, because that puts you in a better position compared to the two Alfa Romeos in this race, and will just give you a little bit more leeway to the two Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, I
To see
agree.
what happens.
As we have Hudson retiring in the pit lane, it's unfortunate to see him retiring so early in the race. But yeah, no, I agree. Easton has all that battery. He's sat third car in this DRS trade. He has to use battery if he gets past. DRS will not be enough. If he wants to look to
Indeed.
make moves, he needs to get them done.
And he'll need to start doing it in the next few laps because Runners' tyres will now starting to be falling off of the cliff and hitting that ceiling that they do on this F1 game at about 25%, I believe the first drop off is the first real drop
Yeah,
off.
about 25%.
And so Runners' tyres will be starting to go off a cliff very soon. Jurassic Place still on the back of Evo at the moment and still pressurising here. The top four separated by literally less than 1.5 seconds. This is the type of battling we want to see, isn't it, JD?
Oh, it is. Clean, fair racing. I can see
Indeed.
Ronald getting a little bit slippy there. This will be helping him carry them soft tyres longer. I am curious to see if we have any rain. The sky doesn't seem to have got any darker.
It seems to have gotten lighter, if anything else. So at the moment, there's no threat of rain for the time being. But I think Runners' tyres are really starting to go off a cliff now. He's lost about 0.3 of a second in the first two corners, and now the tyres are really starting to go off for the Alfa Romeo. And I think Easton, now he is using that battery. He was at 100% briefly. He is now going to start using it. Runner's got about 30%, but he can't keep using it. And does he stay ahead? He does stay ahead of Easton for the time being, but Easton's just got so much more battery than him. It's only a matter of time, isn't it, JD?
It is. He's still uneven now. Sat on 80%. Sitting behind. Ronald obviously deploying a bit as well to not let the AlphaTauri pass. Easton just moving out of the way there. Trying to keep his tyres cool as we find Muddy Biscuits, the next driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty.
Yep, it's not. Yep, track limits. You've got to, especially for the leading runners, is a big topic because you don't want to gain a little 3-second penalty by just gaining a few hundred. It's not worth it at the end of the race when the results will come in. So we'll have to see. Once again, I think Easton is going to be preparing an attack on Runnard this lap. We're on to lap 9 of this race already. This race has already flown by quite quickly. The first part of it, we're almost a third through. In fact, we are a third through this race, just under a third through this race now, and we're already into the second part where the people like Runnard are going to be wanting to think of pit stops very soon, aren't they, JD?
Yeah. I haven't seen the predicted tyres strategy, but I can imagine it's going to be a one-stop for the hard runners and obviously Muddy Biscuits on the mediums. I'm assuming Runnard is going to be trying to take these softs long to make them a one-stop. So he's going to go, I'd imagine we'll see Runnard going on to the hards to finish the race.
Of course, one thing in Runnard's advantage is the fact that he is the fact that the soft tyres will still produce grip for quite a while. And you can see that he's literally right up behind his teammate. They're clearly still giving him a good amount of grip. Into turn 11 we go with the leading runners. But yeah, I think Runner can take these tyres another few laps or so yet, because the tyres, because he's in that DRS train, he's not using the tyres too much, so he can just keep them cool and not use them and stay in the DRS train and just keep to the pace that Evo is doing at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we'll come back to this other pack. Further back, obviously being led by Crazy Fish at the moment. Currently 9.5 seconds off this front gaggle of cars that we've just been following. He's doing well. He's managing to keep Ipswich Techers back so far.
He is indeed. And those are the 5 for the minor points placings, which will be a very interesting battle to see how that develops in the next few laps. And I have to say when people make the pit stops and when people go for it. As this time we have got Easton going for the move on one who's on the inside. He does have so much more battery, and he's straight ahead of him. And that is Easton up into the podium places into P3. So that is a crucial move for him and also for AlphaTauri as well in their fight with Alfa Romeo for the constructors' title.
That's it. Justin Blaze is not going to be feeling so secure now, not having that buffer of his teammate behind. He knows that he's going to have the AlphaTauri breathing down his neck quickly. I expect to see Justin Blaze now looking to try and get a move past Evo to give himself that buffer back again.
He is on more battery than Evo, and he obviously has the DRS when Evo doesn't. However, what that does pose a risk of, does pose a risk of both AlphaTauri passing you and then them having the buffer in the lead. So this game of DRS train is very much a game of...
He's going for it.
This game of these DRS trains are very much like a game of chess. Play your moves smartly and correctly and use your DRS at the right time. And we can see Jurassic Players up into P1 now, wanting to maybe try and set the pace a bit higher than Evo was doing. We've got Ipswich Techers as well making a move further back on the Ferrari of Crazy Fish, and there's a simple move, and he's up into P9 now. So good progress for him from the back of the grid.
Yeah, no, very much so. Gained himself, 5 positions since the start?
And yeah, I think so. 5
positions. I can count. That's good.
You can. Yeah. You haven't lost anything. It's fine,
No.
JD. You're
I'd
good.
say someone who's been very quiet this race that we haven't really mentioned. Dan Burnett, Darnell, Grunty, Invade. All 4 of the cars actually sat on the back of these leaders. We've mentioned the top 4 quite a lot. But the 4 behind them, they've been sat there. They've been following. They've just about hung on to that DRS. It's definitely worth noticing. Burnett is now very close to the back of runners. Runners' tyres, I think, have gone.
Falling off the cliff now. He's nearly out of the DRS.
Oh, there's a slide there. Turn 12.
And Easton has been let by Evo, and you can see Runner that dives into the pit lane, and we'll have to see what goes onto that car, but the 2 AlphaTauri swapping places, and that does make sense considering Easton has more battery than Evo, and maybe they're going to plan a dual attack on Jurassic Blaze, and who doesn't have his teammate there, who is now onto a set of medium tyres, so he will be having good grip. We'll have to see how long he can take those medium tyres in this race.
He's managed to take the softs 11 laps. Only has 16 laps to go. I think
So
he can take the mediums.
He should make it, but he will have less tyres to play with at the end of this race compared to the likes of his teammate and the 2 AlphaTauris, and also obviously the other people in the train as well. And it will be very interesting to see what people like Invade, Grunty, Darnell and Burnett do in those cars. Do they box slightly earlier to put the leaders under pressure to give themselves a chance of winning this race? Because obviously, we can't forget, they are still in this fight for the win, aren't they, JD?
They are. Just keeping on board with the track map there. Just trying not to lose touch of what's going on behind. We've got Genghis Logan very close to the back of Money Biscuits. Money Biscuits, if you remember, is on those medium tyres. So they're going to be starting to fall off a little bit now. He's defending around turn 11. The Mercedes trying to find a way through, but the Aston Martin saying, no thank you, not today. Oh, it goes to the door. Jenkins having a little bit of a lock up and slide there to avoid going into the back of the Aston Martin. Does really well to avoid contact there and lives to fight another day. They both dive into the pits then. Oh,
Yep,
and he nearly hits him again. Woo.
Yep, we've also got Muddy Biscuit as well into the pits from the medium tyres. So we've got from the mediums, that makes absolute sense. And Jenga Logan as well coming into the pits for Mercedes. He's going on to a set of medium tyres. And surely it'll be a set of hard tyres for Muddy Biscuit. And is he going to come out behind? Oh!
He has.
Oh, and
He's been jumped in the box by Genghis.
He has been. That is a very That is very, very big news. And also, I think something to note now, back to the lead battle, but Dan Burnett is now right on the tail of Evo. So, he's used up quite a bit of his battery, but he's now putting both AlphaTauris under a bit more pressure. This train is something else. Looking at it on the track map, it's like looking at Google Snake, snaking around the board. It's literally like that.
It really is,
And then
especially
what's
when we're on board of our leader looking back. You see all 5 cars there. Even Grunty in the McLaren and Invade just about hanging on. A whole train of 7 cars just back to back. And it's beautiful to see.
It is indeed.
He's nearly collecting place for the last turn. They're doing really well to avoid that one as well.
Yep. I think the AlphaTauris will be wanting to make their move in the next few laps because the pit stop period is now coming up, and yet people from the hard tyres can come in for mediums. They will have more grip, but it's going to be a big question of what do the drivers want? Do they want to get track position, or do they want fresher tyres to play with at the end? Because they know they were going to get undercut by people like Runnard, who obviously started on the soft tyres and had to pit earlier. But it'll be interesting to see whether they try and take the hard tyres a little bit further and give themselves a little bit more leeway in terms of tyre advantage compared to the rest of them.
That's something I'm surprised at Easton. Easton's being very reserved here. He's got almost a full tank of battery, and he's choosing not to use it.
Maybe he's saving. Maybe it could be that he's saving it now for his outlap, possibly, and trying to pin it and get past Drastic Blaze convincingly. Because also, as well, another thing is if Easton breaks DRS as well, because breaking the DRS is obviously the biggest and the best thing that these drivers could do in this train. If the leader was to break DRS, that creates a whole new DRS train, with second place being the leader. And we can see there, we've got a bunch of cars into the pit lane. We've got a whole bunch of cars in the pit lane. Grunty has got a 5-second penalty.
And Evo.
And Evo,
Burnett.
And so many of them have got 5-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane, so that's not going to help them. Into the pits, they're all going to go onto a set of medium tyres at the moment. We'll have to see where they all come out relative to each other. And
Runnard's gone past.
Runnard has gone past, and it is Evo from Dan Burnett, from Darnell, from Grunty, from Invade, and then Matty has also come in for a set of medium tyres. So that was a bit of a disaster from quite a lot of people in the pits there, especially the likes of Evo, who were needed who just didn't want penalties.
Yeah, we see a few of them there on 6 seconds, 8 seconds. That's really going to hamper their race come the end. And I definitely don't think it's going to be raining. The sun is starting to come out now. So I think we can write off any potential wet weather this race.
Yep, we can, but what we shouldn't write off is Easton, who still, remember, had that full tank of battery and used it to full effect.
Oh, I completely missed the overtake.
You missed the overtake for the lead, JD. Horrible behaviour.
Oh, unbelievable.
Fine, anyway, it's unbelievable, but anyway.
Are we going to see them react into the box though?
Easton up into the podium places. He's got the most battery, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay out another lap.
He doesn't.
Let's
They both
see.
go
No,
in.
he doesn't stay out another lap. They both come into the pit lane.
Neither of them get a time penalty. Well done.
Yep, and that is the crucial thing. If they can just stay with themselves against the other two, then they are going to be the ones who benefit from the time penalties. I'll tell you one thing to note, though, is the fact that is the amount of tyre advantages that Runnard had on those new mediums compared to the rest of them. And also, as well, another thing to bear in mind, Runnard's only on 3-lap older tyres than the other guns who went onto hard tyres. So he hasn't actually got that bad of a tyre deficit to the rest of the field. And he's also got a 6-second lead over Evo. So he's actually in the driving seat at the moment, literally in the driving seat for this victory.
He is at the moment. He also needs to look after his tyres. The 4 laps, you think it isn't that much, but on a track like France, where the degradation, I can never say the word.
Degradation.
But the tyre wear is quite brutal. He could feel that come the end. Is that Ipswich Techers defending or just simply moving out of the way for the quicker car? Evo makes his way up into P2 then. Finds himself 5.6 seconds back from Runnard with carrying a time penalty, obviously, as well. Ipswich Techers yet to box. The only one yet to box in the field.
Yep, indeed. So, and like we were for the first 15 laps of this race, we look back from Ipswich Techers, and we just see another snake train all the way back.
What it has done is it split them up. We find Dan Burnett up P4 ahead of Easton. Easton just making a move past Darnell there. Invade down P7. Grunty P8. So Invade's got past Grunty in all that. Justin Blaze down P9.
I was about to say that.
What happened? Whoa!
Contact! Oh, contact! And that was Easton. Easton into the back of Ipswich Techers, and he's lost places because of it. And he's also, I think he dragged someone else wide with it. Yes, he dragged Darnell wide with him. So that was horrible for Grunt. That was horrible for both Darnell and for Easton. And one thing I was about to mention was the fact that Easton gained so much compared to Drastic Blaze.
Yeah.
And Drastic Blaze had lost so many places, but now they're basically in the same boat, and they've got all these guys with penalties in front of them who are just going to be holding them up at this rate, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know how Drastic Blaze has lost so much on that pit stop. He didn't have to double stack or anything, so maybe just a poor position in the grid box, and yeah.
Unless he missed, unless he missed his timing, possibly. That's the only thing I can think of. He missed his timing because he was ahead of, because he was only just behind Easton, so it must have been like lost. He just mistimed going into the pit lane because mistimed going into the pit box because it's the only explanation I can think of for why he would lose that much time in the pit lane.
Yeah. Talking of time, S-Light Evo only 3.5 seconds back from Runnard. That tyre advantage is really, it's really already starting to come in. It is carrying 5 seconds that he has to worry about. Dan Burnett, obviously the same, 6 seconds for Invade behind, and Grunty on 5 seconds. Easton, the only driver there sat in P6 without any penalties, as we've just seen Justin Blaze make his way past Ipswich Techers, or SLR Darnell even.
Yep, Ipswich Techers is now into the box to put on a new set of tyres. He will come out dead last out of all the runners remaining in this Grand Prix. And we'll have to see what he goes on to. Is it a set of mediums? Is it a set of softs? It is a set of mediums onto the Williams. And he's held in the box. So, no, it was just him lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a bit of strange lag.
That was a bit of strange lag, but yeah. Oh no. Anyways.
Anyway. Oh no. Anyway. Already on board with Grunty, making a move past Invade, finds himself up into P4. I bet you never thought he would be there after we saw him sat one of the last cars in that train early on in the race.
Yeah, Grunty and Invade have actually been the big beneficiaries of this of that pit stop sequence. They're the ones who've gained the most in this train, to be honest, along with Dan Burnett as well. Because they have got past quite a few drivers. One thing to mention with Runnard, I've been watching him a little bit from time to time. He's clearly pushing very hard on the tyres, and he's clearly trying as hard as he can to keep that lead because he's sliding so much out of corners. He's properly wringing every ounce of pace he can out of that Alfa Romeo.
There he really is. As we see another driver into the box. Is that Easton? Easton boxing.
Does Easton have... Oh, I wonder if Easton has front wing damage. He made contact with the back of Ipswich. So I wonder if he's got damage.
That is a new front wing for the AlphaTauri. That is such a shame.
And this has gone from what could have been an absolutely brilliant result for AlphaTauri against Alfa Romeo. Now looks like it's going to be a real problem for them now, as Easton's come out dead last out of all of the runners, and it's only Evo in P2, but Runnard and Drastic Blaze, as we see Invade as well, making a move on Grunty and making the move back past the McLaren. So we've got now two separate battles coming on now. We've got a battle for P4 and a battle for P1, and Dan Burnett sat in the middle of it, just chilling basically. He's just enjoying life in that podium spot with no pressure from behind, but trying to maybe catch up as well to Runnard and Evo, who is now within DRS, and using that tyre advantage to expertise. That was not English, but forgive me.
I said Dan Burnett are going to be hoping for the front two to start battling here so he can start catching up and close down that 2.3 second gap that he has behind. The Alpine sitting pretty though in P3. Should hopefully get some good points. Obviously got some good gaps behind, but obviously we have the penalties that we need to worry about. As we see Evo making a move for the lead into turn 1. Gets that move done. Is Runner going to fight back all over the back of the AlphaTauri? Down into turn 3. He sits behind.
He does sit behind. I think now Runnard's only hope is basically to stay in the DRS, because he needs to cling on to it for at least a few laps, because the tyre deficit between him and Evo is so much. He's just got to try and keep that DRS as best he can. Both of them are using battery down the back straight. They're both on about 20% battery, so on similar battery levels, but Runnard's going to have to see if he can extract some of that extraordinary pace he can pull in these races and use it to his advantage, staying within the DRS for the next few laps at least, because Evo is the one with the 5-second penalty, so Runner could be 4.9 seconds behind at the flag. He'll still win.
Yeah, riding on board now with Invade is all over the back of the McLaren. Things I don't like to see. But it's lining himself up now to try and potentially make a move down into turn 1.
I'll tell you someone who's going to be very frustrated by this drastic blaze. He is wanting to use his tyre advantage to get up to the back of the of Dan Burnett and then the leading runners. So he is frustrated in this train at the moment, with Invade now going for a lead, going for P4 on Grunty down the inside. They're just swapping positions really, the McLaren and Mercedes, and just keeping the Alfa Romeo behind them at this point, aren't they, JD?
Yeah, it must be extremely frustrating being sat there, not being able to find a way through while the two ahead are scrapping. Talking of scrapping, we've got the front two. Runner not managing to get the position back. Equally, Evo not managing to drop him. Both got very little battery left as well, so it could still be anybody's win here.
It could indeed, and of course they've got to make sure they don't tangle as well, because
Oh
Dan Burnett is right behind them.
Oh, I thought we almost done a 3-wide. We've got Justin Blaze making a move. Is that a 2 for the price of 1? Does he make it sink? He does make it sink. He gets himself past Grunty and Invade.
Now
what a beautiful move.
And he's got it at the perfect time as well, because now he's got it into the final sector, which is where the tyre advantage is at its best, with all of the long corners like this, like turn 11 and also turn 12 as well.
Oh,
Just
with all this, we've got Darnell trying to stick his nose in past Invade as well. Doesn't quite get that move done. Riding on board with Drastic Blaze looking behind us. We see the 3 cars of Grunty, Invade and Darnell all snaking their way through. Can Drastic Blaze now close the gap down 2.9 seconds in front of him to the Alpine of Dan Burnett?
I think he can definitely get up to Burnett, and possibly Runnard as well, with the tyre advantage compared to Runnard. But
and obviously he does have a penalties as well, so him and Runnard, both the Alfa Romeos, not having any time penalties, that's really going to benefit them.
They're in the box seat to take a big leap in the Constructors' Championship in this season. And yep, although I have to say Grunty is sticking very close behind Drastic Blaze, and will probably want to stay with Drastic Blaze as well for the to try and get up to the back of Dan Burnett, in which that will be a battle for P4 on the road, and obviously some more bragging rights in the Drivers' Championship as well, JD.
Yeah, definitely. Just staying here with Grunty. He's really not giving up, is he? Justin Blaze got himself past. Grunty doing an incredible job to keep up with what I'd say is one of the front runners of this division. Darnell behind, getting a move past Invade. Invade going to try and switch back. Oh, that's a little bit of a drift. Has to stay back out of that one. Sit this behind the Haas of the minute. SLR Darnell up into P6.
At this point, I think it will be. At this point, I would have to back Runnard at the moment to take the win at the moment, because he is staying within the DRS. Evo breaking the toe, raving on that straight as much as he can to try and break the toe. But the DRS is very powerful here at France. It can get you upwards of half a second a lap sometimes in the race, and as we see, Ipswich Techers get another 3-second time penalty for track limits. And it hasn't been track limits haven't been the main enemy of penalties today. It's been slowing the car down and following the speed limit, apparently.
Yeah, so see, running. I almost went a little bit wide there out of the exit turn 5. That might be a track limit there for him. He needs to be careful. Who's on comm? It is myself, JD, and Matteo.
Hello.
Hello.
And hey, oh, really? I have just caught a big battle at the top.
Oh!
Evo have had a huge slide through first of all turn 8 and then turn 9. It was basically like Tokyo drifting around those corners. It might as well have been in a might as well have been in a supercar or a drift car rather than an F1 car. Brilliant skills to keep the car pointing in the right direction, but Runnard almost had a sniff to get the lead back. But I don't think that's really what I think Runnard wants to do at this point, with only 13, now 10% battery. Considering Evo ahead of him has about 10% more than him.
Yeah, we've still got Dino and Invade getting all scrappy at the back of this train here. Trading places backwards and forwards as each lap goes on. Not working together though.
Yeah, I think they've realised now that their fight is now basically with each other as Runnard goes wide. Runnard goes wide through turn 2, and every little mistake, every little apex missed could cost Runnard. As if I think now Evo is charging up the battery, maybe to charge out of the DRS. Runnard still has DRS down the back straight towards turn 8, but yeah, Evo's got to start picking up the pace now if he wants to win this race.
Yeah, he's not managed to drop Runnard. Runnard's sitting in that DRS, and like you said before, very, very difficult to drop. Like saying that as well, Grunty's sitting all over the back of Justin Blaze. It's not going to do him much good with his 8 seconds of penalties. Someone that will benefit is Darnell in P6. He'll gain a few positions if they can just catch up to the top 3. Justin Blaze doing a good job there, but not managing to find much time. Still sat at 2.4 seconds. Really not managing to close up the gap to Dan Bennett at all.
No, he isn't. Not using the tyre advantage as much as I thought he might. Darnell is actually in the box seat here to get P4 because he is the other. He is one of the other drivers without penalties in that top 5. So Grunty has penalties which will drop him down behind Darnell, and Dan Burnett has a 5-second penalty for obviously speeding in the pit lane. Further back we've got an incident. Further back we've got an incident and a spinner of Jengus Logan. I think that involved the Ferrari of Matty as well. So very, very unfortunate there for the Mercedes, battling for the amount of points placings in this race.
Oh wow, yeah, no, that's very unfortunate for Jengus there. Not been his day today in that Mercedes. Having a look at the gap to the leader. Oh, Jengus having another spin at the last turn. His tyres are cooked. Hopefully this doesn't bring out a late safety car. Oh,
it shouldn't.
He's driving to the pits.
He's going into the pits, and I think he's going to the tyre. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Anyway, we're right back on board.
Yeah,
if he doesn't retire, that's a bit mad.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we don't question it, alright?
We don't. Running back on board with Runnard, who's only 1/10 of the back of Evo. Look at the gaps at leader. Justin Blaze actually only 5.7 seconds off the leader. If he can close that 7/10, sorry, he's in for a good result here.
I think what he'll want is Runner to battle, is to try and get ahead of Evo, because if Runner does battle Evo hard, it will bring Drastic Blaze into the mix. And of course, the problem for these two is their tire. Runner, especially his tires, are going to start going off of a cliff now. That he has slowly been losing time, and he is now 7/10 only. Now half a second with the DRS, luckily for him. But he's not in the best place at the moment. But he is in the box seat to still win this race ahead of Evo. As Evo, oh, that's not gonna help.
No, he picks up another 3. Well, he picked up his first track limit penalty.
Oh dear, everybody on this lap just getting track limit penalties. Lads, keep it within the white lines. It's not that difficult. Just tick. I mean, yes, it's a pace.
I'm not making a comment until my race tomorrow.
Yeah. Good work. I'm not racing an RSF1 at the moment, so I'm fine. I can make all the comments I want to. But anyways.
Well, the person that's benefited then, Darnell, now sat in a great position along with Runnard here.
Surely that's going to be him onto the podium now. What would have been P4 is going to be he's going to be podium bound for the next. If he can stay with Grunty, stay with Drastic Blaze, who's now properly closed up to the back of Dan Burnett in the Alpine. So, and we're heading towards. This race has flown by.
It really has.
Evo is rounding the final corner to start the last lap of this French Grand Prix. This race has flown by, hasn't it, JD?
It really has. And I can't do the maths quick enough in my head to figure out who is going to end up where with all these drivers on so many different penalties. So we were just going to have to wait and see for everyone to cross the line to find out where they all end up here.
I'm going to try and do the maths. I'm going to try and do the maths and give you all what I think might be the podium if everything stays as it is at the moment. Evo will be dropping off of that first position spot and will fall behind Runnard. Runnard at the moment hasn't got any penalties, so he will take. So barring any incident on this last lap in which he has got literally 0 battery remaining, he should take victory here in France. Then Evo will drop, I believe, down to I think behind Darnell, who is going to take P2, I think, and then it will be Evo P3 or 4, I think.
We have Justic Blaze there, running on 3 seconds. So I think Justic Blaze will get the 3rd spot on the podium here. Looking at it quickly, anyway.
Yep. Like as I said, we're doing the maths in our head here. Now the tyre advantage really has come into play. Runnard struggling there on those tyres. They're just gone. They're just gone. Genghis Logan takes fastest lap of the race with a 1:31.65 second. Commiserations for him, but it's gonna be very interesting to see where everyone finishes. Evo crosses the line in the lead, but he won't stay there. Runnard takes victory here at the French Grand Prix, and then Darnell, as we suspected, jumping up to P2 in the Haas.
Evo still managing to hold on to the podium, getting a P3 there.
He was only 3/10 off of getting P2 there, so unlucky for Evo, but he still retains a podium. But what is big news is the fact that Alfa Romeo will take the big step in the Constructors' Championship compared to AlphaTauri because of Easton falling backwards because of the damage he received from that incident. But that is your order. Runnard, Darnell, Evo, Drastic Blaze, Dan Burnett, Grunty, Invade, Easton, Crazy Fish, Matty in your top 10, Ipswich Techers, and then Muddy Biscuit, and then Genghis Logan rounds out your finishing runners as Hudson retired very early in this race. Commiserations to him. Congratulations to Runnard and to Darnell who drove quite a quiet race, to be fair, in the Haas and the AlphaTauri as well. Of Evo, well done to all our podium sitters, who we will be going to talk to in a minute, won't we, JD?
Yeah, let me just sort all that out. Oh, my app button on the keyboard doesn't work anymore for some reason. I can't out the people.
Oh, we have Darnell into the pit lane now, so got one of our runners.
Let's go pop up there.
Let's go. That was perfect timing on cue.
Beautiful timing.
Both at the exact same time.
Alright, are we going to have Evo join us, Darnell and Runnard?
Mm-hmm.
I have to tag on my phone. I don't know why it just doesn't work on my...
That's kind of sad. Not sad. It's kind of crazy.
Alright, unless Evo jumps in, we have... It's Darnell here. We've got our P2. Well, we'll grab him Darnell after you, too. If Darnell wants to unmute.
If Darnell wants
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
so.
beautiful.
That's all good. It's all good, man. All good. Well, Darnell, congratulations, P2 from what was it, like P6? Staying out of the penalties in that race was crucial, wasn't it?
Massively. I'm actually really chuffed with that P2. Didn't think I had quite the pace of like the likes of Evo, Eastern, Blaze, and Runnard, but well, I stuck with them all race. And when it got to the pits, obviously quite a lot of them got 5-second penalties, and I didn't. So I thought, oh, okay, this is good. As long as I can keep them, then I should be in for a good result. And then I saw a lot of them picking up penalties towards the end, and I think I was only on. I don't actually know if I got a 1 in that race. I might have got 1, but I knew at that point I was like, okay, keep it on the road and just stay in their DRS, and then I might potentially get a podium hit. And yeah, I thought I could have got P3, but I was surprised with P2 more than anything.
Yeah, it was a brilliant drive, and to be honest, you were kind of bottled up in that being bottled up in that DRS train for the first portion of the race. Was it frustrating, like not being able to do much?
Yeah, kind of, but I mean, these guys are absolutely rapid, so I was kind of quite happy to be sticking with them. Like towards the end of the race is when like the racing kind of happens and people start making moves and strategy comes into play. So I wasn't too fussed, to be fair. I was still in the race, put it that way.
Yeah, and obviously had a nice little battle with Invade and Grunty as well towards the end of the race to get into the position that you did to benefit from the penalties. Did you think that race went well for you overall?
Yeah. Overall, I'm really happy. I didn't realise pulling a move on Invade towards the end would actually get me P2 in front of Evo by 3/10. I did not calculate that. I had no idea what the gap was to him. I was kind of like trying to get past them both, just potentially to get past Drastic again. But unfortunately he got a penalty, so I was able to get ahead of him anyway at the end of the race.
Yeah, we certainly couldn't calculate who was going to finish where come the end, apart from obviously Runnard being at the top. Everyone having so many different type penalties going on. That was
dropped maths in secondary school for a reason. I didn't want to do it again.
No. So you had a very quiet race, but you kept yourself out of trouble, and obviously no penalties, and pulled a fantastic result because of it. But we have no worries. We shall see you next week.
Yes. Congratulations, much well done.
Oh, and we've got Evo in here, our P3 finisher for today's race. Evo, welcome in.
Hello all.
How are you doing this evening? Bit of a up and down race, that one.
Yeah, a few of my mistakes. So
yeah,
what?
It seemed... Oh, sorry.
If I had not done the mistakes, I would have won that race.
Yeah, talk us through the 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane. Was that worried of a car behind, or was that just an error?
Yeah, I was worried about the car behind because I seen I think it was Dan. I think it was that was behind me, quite large in my rear view mirror. So I just let off the brake a little bit and yeah, just sped into the pit lane.
Yeah, because you both picked up the 5 seconds at that point. Obviously, then the further 3 seconds later on didn't help your cause, obviously. But still managing, quite surprisingly actually, to still put yourself on the bottom spot of the podium, which isn't a bad result, all things considering. All things considered, even.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
So good race. Car felt good. Shame that the tweak that I did in the pit stop, I didn't do at the start of the race. Otherwise, could have been a complete different race.
Yeah. It was the start of the. I said this to Darnell as well. At the start of the race, obviously there was that big DRS train between, obviously you and Easton, and obviously the two alphas ahead of you, including Runnard. Was it difficult in that DRS train to try and like make any moves, or were you all sort of just waiting to see you sort of pull the trigger?
Yeah, basically just trying to work out a good strategy of like how to break away from everyone else, really. So like the DRS as well as like the slipstream around France is just ridiculously overpowered. So unless you're like working with someone, you're never gonna break away from someone behind. It's quite proven when I overtook Renard. I couldn't get away from him even though he was on 5 lap older tyres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't fall off until the very last lap,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that with
Yeah,
Running
GG.
in a second. He made quite a few errors on that last lap because of his tires going off the cliff. The tire advantage was very much a big thing as well. Having the better tires, was that a big factor in the strategy?
No, I was always going to do a hard medium for my one. So yeah, it was just what it is really. But fair play, Renard. You had like a bloody scalded cat start. Fair play.
Yeah, starting on the soft there, an absolute launch.
Yeah.
We go off to Hungary. Excuse me, we go off to Hungary next week, though. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I've done a few races around there, so pretty comfortable. Don't know what my pace is going to be like compared to these guys, but we'll give it a go for the top step of the podium again.
Well, you certainly showed that pace today, Evo. Unlucky with the penalties, but nonetheless, a P3 is still a very good result, and well done to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, well done,
lining up
Eva.
the championship.
It does indeed. We
Yeah.
will jump on with Runnard, then Runnard. Let me just unmute you. That would help.
He's already unmuted.
He is now. Runnard, welcome in, bud. Another race win. Fantastic result. How are you feeling after that one?
I felt like my race was kind of lucky with Evo's penalty, and also Drastic Blaze made a poor decision with his pit stop, I think.
He did go on for one extra lap, and that did end up costing him getting stuck in the traffic, I think. So
Yeah, there was a lot of cars all at one point in the pit lane, and I think he just got held up there.
Yeah, staying within the white lines was very crucial today to your win, obviously. So you wanted to did you have any close moments at all? Were you ever that close to getting a penalty, or were you fairly calm through the whole thing?
Yeah, when I was behind Evo, just scraping within his DRS every lap. Yeah, there was a few moments where I nearly went off. Well, there was a few moments where I did go off, nearly getting a penalty. I think I got 2 warnings. I was on my last warning.
Overall, sitting relatively comfortably, knowing obviously you had the 5 seconds ahead of you. What was going through your head to go for the completely different strategy, starting on the soft tyres? Talk us through that. What made you want to start on the soft, going completely against the grain of everyone else?
Well, I knew that I had a good launch. I thought I could get to P5, maybe get up to the podium positions and just try and work with the leaders. I didn't expect to get to actually P1, but yeah, just the strategy was to just kind of stay in the DRS of the fast guys, don't drop out, pit a bit earlier for the mediums, and try and pull away basically.
Yeah, and of course, as well at the end there, you were trying to stay with Runnard. Was the tire deficit a sort of a big problem for you, especially towards the latter end of the to the race?
Yeah, especially the last lap, they were on 70 75+%. So I was just trying to make sure I didn't get a puncture, basically.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
don't-
didn't even know. 75%.
That's
Jeez.
nuts.
That is. That is.
We
I
call
mean,
them a sweat for a
fully-
reason.
yeah, we do call him a sweat for a reason. I mean, fully deserved. Fully deserved. If he was nearly puncture territory and he was still staying in the DRS of Evo, that is a very much well-deserved victory, Bernard.
It is.
Yeah.
Obviously, staying out them penalties, that's what ended up gifting you that win in the end. And obviously, going off the Hungary, that's a very strong track for you anyway. How are you feeling about that one overall?
Well, I don't think it is a very strong track. In other leagues, I've struggled with Hungary, to be honest, but it should be all right. I think Hungary's, even though there's only 1 or 2 DRS straights, like quite close to each other, it should be a bit of a DRS train. So it should be strategy that comes into play there as well.
Yeah, obviously deemed one of Bar Monaco, obviously deemed one of the hardest tracks to overtake on as well. So it's going to be a Monaco-esque qualifying, I feel.
Monaco without the walls, Hungary
Yes.
is nicknamed by the F1 community, and there's a very good reason for that.
It is. We will wrap it up there. It has been an awesome race tonight, awesome stream. Thank you, Matteo, for joining me a lot, or being alongside me, joining me. Yes,
pleasure.
all that good stuff. We will be back here tomorrow. I won't be. I'll be racing. We'll be here tomorrow, 8 o'clock for Division 2. You can find us over here on this Twitch channel. You can also find all the YouTubes and the websites. The links at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much, guys.